everyone. Welcome to the Tribe of Trailblazers, a podcast for those who chose to live life differently and realize your full potential. Today, we have a very special episode. Normally, on this podcast, I interview trailblazers, people who chose to live differently and who share their wisdom with you. But today, I will talk about something else. The world has changed. We live in a very non-linear and complex environment that is really hard to navigate. And so there are some trends that are emerging that create challenges, but also opportunities to help you design a truly meaningful and fulfilling life. And in today's episode, I will walk you through some of the key trends, and I will also share some of the opportunities that these trends present. Because the future really belongs to those who create it. And hopefully, after listening to today's episode, you will have the tools to create a truly meaningful and fulfilling life for you. So, trend number one, the 100-year life. Most of us listening and watching this podcast will live until 100 years of age. This is exciting, isn't it? But also, it creates a number of challenges and raises a bunch of questions. Like, for example, how will you stay relevant for all of these years? How will you stay fulfilled? Will you structure your life differently? The good news is that despite all of these questions, you can become everything you ever wanted. Instead of just living the traditional three-staged life of education, career, and retirement that our parents and grandparents used to live, we get a chance to live multiple levels. Think of it as a game with bunch of side quests and bunch of different levels that you can choose. And maybe today you work in corporate, maybe in the next 5 years you will open a burnout recovery center somewhere in rural Vietnam. Maybe 10 years later you will find yourself being a Buddhist monk in a Japanese temple. You get to become anything you want. This is an amazing and exciting opportunity because you have time. And this is one of my favorite examples. I really like sharing it with my clients that even if you choose the profession that's really, really hard to get into, a neurosurgeon, it takes around 10 years of training. And let's say at the age of 40, you decide to become a neurosurgeon. You will become one at the age of 50. Considering that you would likely live until 100 years old, you still have 30, 40 years of professional practice. And if you can become a neurosurgeon at the age of 40, then you can definitely become anything else at any other age. So if you've been considering of changing professions and thinking, is it too late? Then absolutely you should do it. It's not too late. You also can do multi-staged life. So for example, I used to be a strategy consultant. I have worked in London at one of the big strategy consulting firm. I then worked as a deep tech grant writer, turned and became a psychologist and a life design coach, and ultimately a tech founder of my life quest. But that's not it. Not only do I have a multi-staged life, I also have a portfolio career. Next to being a coach and an entrepreneur, I also teach yoga and I'm an artist. So we live in unprecedented times where you can pursue all of your passions. That's exciting, right? But that also means that there is so much choice, maybe just too much choice. And what is happening is that many of us, we just stay stuck and paralyzed because there's just too much to choose from. You can live in any country, you can change professions quite quickly. There's so many different courses available these days. Even when it comes to dating, it seems like the options are infinite. And so many of us really struggle. There's been this really famous study when people at the supermarket were offered to taste 24 varieties of jam, and only 3% who tasted these many varieties actually could buy jam. However, when they reduced the amount of tastes to only six, the amount of people who could choose the jam that they liked, it grew to 30%, 10 times more. This is fascinating. This means that when we have too much choice, we're just simply unable to make a decision. There is another way to illustrate this. I really like this one. It's called the burden's ass dilemma from philosophy, and boils down to this. If you present a donkey that is equally thirsty and equally hungry, both with a bucket of water and with a stack of hay, what do you think will happen? Well, the donkey will actually die both of thirst and hunger, unable to choose what to begin with. And so that happens to many of us. Unable to choose, we stay stuck and not move in any direction. So how do you and not end up like this donkey here? Get out of your head and into your life. Stop overthinking and start doing. When I work with my clients who are stuck, I always tell them you should have bias towards action approach. You should absolutely stop thinking and start doing. There's no perfect decision. When you go out there, when you start doing, you collect data. Data allows you to make decisions. If you stay in your head, you cannot collect this data. So get out of your head and into your life. What does that look like in practice? If you're thinking, should I move to the countryside? Will I like it? Instead of trying to weigh all of the pros and cons, go on Airbnb, rent a house in the countryside for a weekend, for a week, for a month, and go and try it out. See what you like, see what you don't like. If you're thinking of getting a dog, try and dog sit, or maybe you walk with your friend's dog and see if you like it. Maybe see which breed you like more. If you have an idea for your business, don't spend months and thousands of dollars creating a perfect website. Just launch something super quickly on Wix in 1 hour and just put it out there and see if people start signing up. Try and test your ideas as quickly as possible. This is your challenge. So instead of staying in your head, run experiments, collect data, iterate. Which brings us to the next trend. All of us are burning out so badly. We live in a capitalistic world where bigger, better, faster, more is very much encouraged, and the success is always tied to wealth, status, job titles. Obviously, all of that leads to burnout. So, how do we slow down and how do we redefine success? Well, if you need a permission to just be, here it is. You don't have to be more or do more. You can just be. Like in the famous Barbie movie, I am Ken and I'm Kenaf. I'm good at doing stuff, and so you are also Kenaf. I know it sounds cliche, but it's really all about perspective and redefining what success means. So to avoid burnout, or if you are already recovering from burnout, I recommend this. Similarly to how you schedule time for reading, exercising, working into your schedule, you should do the same for rest. Rest is fuel. It's not wasted time. So when I work with people who are recovering from burnout, I give them an exercise to schedule 30 minutes of lying under a tree a day. No music, no podcast, no reading, no being productive, no journaling, just being under a tree for half an hour. So see if you can try and do that too. Second tip, put your life on full screen mode and stop multitasking. When you have too many tabs open at the same time, your system gets overloaded. Because the same happens to your browser or your phone. If everything is open at the same time, then at some point the system will start glitching. So don't be like this guy on the picture here on the beach with his phone, with his laptop. Try and really do one task at a time and put your life on full screen. This is a picture of me this summer, and I'm playing domino with my mom and my grandma, and this image is here to illustrate my point about redefining success. When I was in corporate, I was working in London and only had 30 days of holidays off, and I didn't really have enough time to visit my family, to spend enough time with the loved ones, but also travel and take care of my own health. And so now that I live life on my terms, I could spend 4 months with my 91-year-old grandma who can barely walk. I could play games with her. I could teach her chair yoga and tell her stories and read. And when she said, Natasha, I've been feeling so happy that you came and that you're spending time with me, do you know, that felt like the ultimate definition of success. That felt like a much bigger success than any titles or any financial gains that I have made in the last few years. So I absolutely urge you to think about, what does success really mean for you? And finally, bigger than us. We're all looking to make a difference, to find that purpose, to find that calling. And here, it's Abraham Maslow, a famous psychologist, the founder and the father of the Maslow pyramid of needs. He would definitely be proud of us today. We have gone all the way up to the top of the pyramid, to the level of self-actualization. And while it's amazing, great news, it also presents some challenges because there are no frameworks and tools that are guiding this level. So a lot of people are feeling lost. And this is precisely the reason why 5 years ago I have started Life Startup, and I have created my Life Quest to help people navigate that level. So what do we do at that level? The tip here is very simple. You should stop searching for meaning. Stop searching for purpose. Stop searching for calling. It's not somewhere there and you just have to find it. What you need to do, you have to create it. You have to create your own meaning. You have to create your own calling and your own purpose. How do you do that? You have to start by really knowing who you are and really getting yourself really well. What do you like? What don't you like? What sets your heart on fire? What gives you goosebumps? What are you drawn to doing? What are what are you passionate about? What do you care about? Do you operate better in individual settings or team settings? Do you like spending time indoors or outdoors? Do you care about big picture stuff, or do you prefer getting your hands into the details? So all of these things, they matter. So really spend some time to really, really understand who you are. And My Life Quest has been created exactly for that. This is your ultimate tool for self-discovery, and you will answer all of these questions. And do take time to actually create your life. So everything that you discover about yourself, and try and come up with a way to combine your passion in such a way that nobody else could. So for example, I did exactly that with my life quest. I was a strategy consultant. I love structure. I love business tools. I'm a psychologist and a coach, so I love personal development and I love helping people get better and improve their lives. I also have been always drawn to design and beautiful aesthetics. And since I was a child, I was passionate about creating games. And so I'm the only person on this planet who was able to create something like this and by combining all of these passions. And so, how can you do something like this with your life? Think about all of your passions that you have and think about a unique way to combine these passions. The mindset to follow, and this is something that I really urge you, instead of looking at life and the world as a bunch of boxes and trying to figure out which box do you fit in best, try and create your own unique box because it's so much fun. It's so much more fulfilling. We live in a world with a lot of uncertainty, and people are looking for leaders to show the way and how to live differently. The world is asking for new ways of doing, new ways of living, new ways of succeeding. And so I really encourage you to not wait for someone else to show you the way, but instead pave your own path and show others the way. Show them what it's like to live a life where you realize your full potential, where you live every day fully alive. And I want to finish this episode with a great quote from Abraham Lincoln. The best way to predict the future is to create it. So create your own future, design your best life. And I really hope that you will be happy. And so if you scan this QR code, you can download the full report and also feel free to connect to us everywhere else. And with that, I would like to close this episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you could please give us a review, leave a comment and like, this would really help us, and this would help us to get discovered by other people who are searching for tools and inspiration to pave their own path. And if you're ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery, absolutely check out mylifequest.io. And if you would like personalized guidance and would like to work with me as your coach, then you can also contact me. There will be a link underneath this episode. Thank you so much. I encourage you to create your own future, and thanks for watching.